for security. All right, because you see, people of those days, people die young because of the lack of medicine and all. So the parents will always think in them, if I have more in my family, the chances of survival maybe of any of the child to succeed is great. So this could be the reason. But you think back that if a big family that is poor compared to a family that has one child that is rich, okay, the child that is rich in that one family, well, he succeeds with all the wealth. But don't forget, the family of 12 or the family of 14 or the family of 20 for that matter, they can be equally rich if they are united. Because why? If they can get together, and say that we each of us contribute, let's say every month from our salary, this is what I wanted to advise the big families, that don't let others look down on you. Because why? You can be equally rich. Why? The reason here is this. If there are 14 members or 20 members in the family, all are brothers and sisters on them. If every one of them, once they reach adulthood and they're working, if every one of them were to tell themselves, I will contribute, beside my expenditure, the balance of the money I'm willing to put together and to create a fund, where now you call unit trust, what you call all sorts of fund. If the family can say, we put our money together and set that trust, don't you think that over the years the money will grow? And if that money grow and they invest it, let's say in fixed deposit, they invest it in secured shares, good shares, they buy properties and all those, in no time that family who is having all these 14, 15 people, they may start off with $100 each. $100 is 20 people is $2,000 one month. 1 year is 24,000. You can see how the multiplying effect is. And if they were to be able to see that being growing, you see, somehow when wealth is being built, they will bring them together. But they can also split them if somebody differs with it. Likewise, you see why the Malays, why the other communities are all having, see why the Indians are fighting, because they felt that they are disregarded. That's the reason. Why the Malays are also fighting, because they thought that the Chinese are making all the money. You see, but don't forget, the Chinese, when they came here, they were equally poor. When they were, let's say our forefathers for that matter, they were all equally poor people. They are coming into a foreign land where they want to find shelter. That's why I said they are so mobile. Humans are so mobile. They will go to a place where they feel that it is safe, they can find a living, there's opportunity, and they feel that they can settle down. That's what I'm trying to say all along. This is just human nature. It's just that it's our human creature.
Our power to evolve and adapt.
Yes. So with that in mind, I believe the Malays are equally capable. You see, they were not given the opportunity. Why? Because they were not encouraged to pick up on education. So right now, my main emphasis here is, I always tell my men, you see, the first constituency that I wanted to stand was Putrajaya. I wanted to face the Malays. I know that 91% of the population of Putrajaya, the voters, are Malays. And knowing that the election is still going to be called within 1 week, I told myself, how am I going to canvass? The only place I can go to is Putrajaya for an urban area, because they have only 8,000 voters. But now I'm told lately it's 15,000. So, but even with 15,000, 1 week at least, if I go and visit 1,500 a day, then 8 days maybe I can cover all. And after all, Putrajaya is no gates, it's all flats. And then even the houses that they have are all without gates and all. It's an open concept. So I told myself it's easier for me to walk into a Malay home. And I can tell you, I'm so confident to go and walk in and talk to the Malays than any other races for that matter. And I can tell you, if I'm given the opportunity to speak to them where they are all knowledgeable people, they would actually give me the support. You know why? When I walk into the election commission on the nomination day, I walked into the nomination hall. It was so tense on both sides of the divide, on the opposing team. I went straight for my nomination. When I sat there, at that nomination table itself, the returning officers, they were all from the respective education department, all the government departments and all. They already saw the warmness in me. And that returning officer said, Toh, you are so brave to actually to take this challenge against the two giants. And I told him, I said, well, you may regard them as giants, but I think if tomorrow the election is fair, where all the constituents are allowed to meet up with all the three candidates, I'm very confident. I said, I'm very confident I'll be able to persuade them to be on my side. Because why? I only speak for the Malaysians. I only told them that. And then I can tell you, after when I finished my nomination, they have no particular seats for me in the center. So I have to join where I find that there is seats. So UMNO side down there, they were extra seats. So I went there. And you know why the UMNO members were able to straight away have a conversation with me? Because before entering the hall, at the entrance to the hall there, the UMNO members were, the UMNO, the candidates were already there. And I already shook hands with them and said, we are here for a celebration. I told them the purpose of the election is for us to celebrate. I said every 5 years. So I'm trying to educate, I wouldn't say educate, I'm trying to show it to the Malaysian in that simple way to say that, look, to hold an election, we are very fortunate. On the basis that we have to say thank you to the outgoing MPs for all their hard work, and let's welcome the new MPs. For improvement.
Rather than it being a competition.
Yes. Improvement. It's just like when in school days, in college time, when we were taught, when we took part in society, we wanted to be elected as the head prefect. We wanted to be an interact president, for that matter, or we wanted to be a school captain. How do we go about in doing that? And we never had fights. You know, how do we do it? We actually meet our voters. We actually meet all our colleagues, and then we actually have proposers and seconders who put up their hands and say, "Oh, I propose you to become the candidate, and I second." As long as we have that too, then the how many contestants there are will all take part. And then what happens is they are supposed to face all the voters, and then you deliberate. And then after that, at the end of the whole session, we call for the election. And whoever wins in that election, the rest will close rank and say, we'll support him as the leader. Isn't that what we practice in school days? All right? So I have, from my school young days, I started off as a head prefect. I was a school captain. I was an interact president. I was an interact council president. I mean, it's a combination of 7 schools. So these are all my, then I was chairman of the Career Guidance Society of Tar College. So these are all my personal achievements in my early days where I was able to command unanimous support, you know. So I begin to understand at that very young age that it's a matter of what you have at heart. Actually, a leader, I would say to many extent, they are inborn. It's within you that you have the passion and the kindness to lead. To me, I mentioned to all the election officers, you see, are we going to deprive a blind man? Are we going to deprive a dumb person from not being able to become a leader if that person has the creativity? So that's why I said language is a means of communication. It's not for the people to judge that if you can't speak the language, you can't be the leader. So you can be a multilingualist for that matter, but if you are out to hoodwink, then you are equally not capable of running the country. You see, you know what I mean? You see, so you can be a multilingualist, but deep in you, you have no intention. You have only your personal interest. You will not be able. But if I give a blind man, but he has the heart, but he has the creativity, and he can speak out, and he can actually give us good ideas on how to unite the people, I will support that man. I give a very good example. There was a man who actually was not blind initially. He was an art director. He went about working for people as an art director, and I heard he was a political strategist for a political party. That was after when I got to know him. And what happened? He met with an accident. he got blind. So he lost his job. Now he struggled and he struggled and he could not accept his blindness initially. But because he was creative, he then told himself he will start off his own publication house. And he said that he will make it. And what he did was, he just got the services of another friend who became his partner. And that partner was the one who came out with doing the creativity work. And all the ideas came from him. And together, it was such a successful partnership. And today, they are doing very well. So I learned, and we all learn. And I keep telling all. I would say this again to all mankind. We will never stop learning. All we got to do is, we must be exposed. The only sad thing that is that we never get to have the opportunity to expose ourselves is because why? Because we've been bothered. So now, with the borderless society I'm talking about right now, imagine if we have all the time to be able to go and gain all this knowledge, we will be definitely a very better person. You see? And I would again say this, is in school days, if I become the Prime Minister, I'm saying right now, I would even say that, I will make it a point that all schools, when they are having, one of the subjects is leadership. And in fact, the government of the day is all talking about looking for new talents. They are incorporating a talent corps to go and scout for new talents. You see, if the government of the day is saying that you are scouting for talents, then you walk the talk and allow citizens like us to come forward and stand for the election. Because that's the whole purpose of the election process. That we want to bring capable lawmakers, capable lawmakers who actually have great experience. And this can only come from your experience, your knowledge, and your wisdom. Your wisdom comes from where? It's from your experience. You see, and your knowledge. Your knowledge and experience are so important. So I always say, why can't we have people like Ambiga, or for that matter, I'm not saying just by name, but I'm saying that, okay, these are all models right now. People like Pei Hong Piao, people like all the professors from the universities, people like, okay, all these people, let's say assuming tomorrow if politics was clean, I'm sure all these NGO leaders, so-called NGO leaders, they will be the first to come forward to actually offer their wisdom back to society. Just like what I'm doing right now. I'm already 54 years old. I told myself, what have I got that I can return back to society? Nothing. I don't have money to return in like what Bill Gates are doing, like what Warren Buffett is doing. But they are two very, I would say, I would say leading example for us, where they are actually putting aside all their wealth for the human race, trying to find ways on how to solve, to find solutions. So I can imagine. I always tell myself, it's great, these people, what they are doing. So why can't we emulate? You see? So likewise, that's why I'm telling myself, if I can't return in terms of being a philanthropist, I can return one thing to them, and that is I impart my leadership skill, I impart my knowledge, I impart my experience.
As your way of doing
if I can help bring about unity to Malaysians, that is the legacy I'm leaving behind.
Okay. So talking about unity, if you do get voted, you do get elected as the representative for Kelana Jaya.
Yes.
What are the 3 most important changes you're going to do?
First, as I said to you, I will form a political party just to conform with the present method, in order that I be able to then, by the next election, win the hearts of the Malaysians, that we will win unanimously in the next election. But this election is a test, and I hope the Kelana residents will actually be proud to host me to represent Malaysians, that I will be the leading voice to raise reforms. And the most important reforms that we will need to raise is to change our electoral method of electing our leaders. Because